2023 Town Board meeting. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, hope everyone's doing well. Busy month as usual. Just have some announcements before we begin the meeting. So last week, the town board, we had to convene a special town board meeting. Our tax receiver, Claudia Dolan, had submitted her resignation letter. And being that time of year with school tax collection is coming very quickly, the town board convened and accepted her resignation and appointed a new tax receiver until the voters will vote in a new one come this November. The town board has appointed Ann Goldsmith as the new tax receiver. Ann was the deputy tax receiver for, I believe, 14 years prior to that. And she's already been working hard. She has no choice because we have, like I said, a big tax collection coming. So we wish Ms. Goldsmith a lot of luck and blessings on her new position, and we wish our former tax receiver the best of luck as well for all her years of service. I began my month with my usual meeting with the Mayors and Supervisors Association of Dutchess County. This month we were in the village of Wappinger Falls, and sometimes we have guest speakers, and we did this month as well, and that was Central Hudson. And I give them a lot of credit for coming to the meeting because right before that meeting, prior to the meeting, they submitted to the New York State Public Service Commission a proposal for a new rate hike, 14% for gas, 16% for gas and 19% for electric. And as I suspected when I saw who the guest speakers were going to be, I knew that our Association of Mayors and Supervisors were probably going to give them a hard time, which we did. We let them know that we disagree with this new proposed rate increase, and just like I said, it's not a small increase, 16% for gas, 19% for electric. They claim it's very necessary because they need upgrades for their infrastructure. They need to make major repairs from when storms come, and I'm sure that's all true, but just like we do in our town government here, our increases should be as little as possible, and timing is very important. And this way, the customers, the paying customers can adjust their budgets accordingly, right? You can't expect the public just to come up with double-digit increases at a whim. It just doesn't happen anymore. I did submit a letter on behalf of myself and the town board to the New York State Public Service Commission, and basically I outlined all the reasons why they should not agree with a rate increase. And basically because of all the high inflation that we've been dealing with the past several years, all of our budgets are very much tight. We don't have as much disposable income as we have in the past, and that's problematic. It's problematic not only for ourselves, but it's also problematic for the economy in general. When we don't have disposable income to spend at our local restaurants, at our local malls, the economy slows down, and that's bad for all of us. So if you want to see that letter, it's on our website. I know that Assemblyman Bepan also submitted a letter against the increases, and several other representatives did as well. I began by saying they came to our meeting. It was a good meeting. It was informative. They did give us a lot of information, but we did give them a lot of pushback, and I believe rightly so. But I will keep everybody informed when the New York State Public Service Commission makes their decision. I've had several meetings with New York State and FEMA about the big storm that came last month that flooded a lot of areas of our town. I would like to thank Congressman Lawler, Assemblyman Bepan, and State Senator Rolison Wisconsin. They fought to have Dutchess County included in the disaster area declaration, which resulted in the FEMA funding. If anybody has damages from the storm and you haven't done so already, please check our town website for information. There'll be links there where you could connect to for FEMA funding. And also, if you would like to apply for New York State has another funding arm as well for their flood assistance program, please contact Assemblyman Beepan's office, located right down here on 82, and they will help you very quickly. We concluded another year of our camp at our town camp. Our camp director, Danielle Keenan, she did a fantastic job. And of course, a big thank you to Christine Selbeck and to Bill Green for their hard work as well. They had over 275 campers this year. We had 40 counselors. We had about 15 to 20 trips to various places. This year we included a new camp in Connecticut that we visited. Very popular, very, it was a big hit. We only closed one day due to weather, which for all working families, husbands and wives who are both working, it's a big advantage when we don't close. So we're happy that it was only one day closed. And you know, we have the largest camp in Dutchess County. Our East Fishkill camp's the largest one, so I'm very grateful for all the counselors, all the directors, for all their hard work for another successful year. I attended the American Legion Manny Bacon Post annual summer picnic. It was right here in the back at our rec fields. Great event as usual. Our American Legion, they do a terrific job. It was so many different aspects. Their station commander, Jim Reynolds, he does a fantastic job as well. They gave out awards to several different members for all the work that they do. And they attend events all over the county. They go to our schools. They do Community Day, Memorial Day, Veterans Day, 4th of July, September 11th program that we have here, and much more. They're also part of our East Fishkill Veterans Council. And it's they're going to be instrumental when we start to build our Veterans Memorial Park located right across the street here. And we will be giving some more information and updates very soon about that. We're starting to get excited. We have engaged with an architect, and hopefully very soon we'll have a plan and when we're going to start that. So a big thank you to American Legion. Speaking of picnics, I did attend a few others. Our Dutchess County Sheriff, Kirk Parati, he holds an annual Sheriff's Barbecue. It was held at Freedom Park in LaGrange. Big turnout. It's a very big attended event. Over 400 people attend. Usually very hot, but the weather was in the Sheriff's favor this year. It was a nice day. Also yesterday, I attended along with the town board, and several other people came as well to our annual East Fishkill Senior Picnic held right here in our park. Dutchess County Office of the Aging hosts this every year. This year also Senator Rolson came out, our Assemblyman Beepan, Dutchess County Executive Bill O'Neill, our Dutchess County Comptroller Robin Lois, the Dutchess County Clerk Brad Kendall. So many people were there. And we had a guest come. I didn't see him till the last minute. It was our former county executive, Congressman Mark Molinaro, came down to see all the seniors. He loves that event. He loves to come out to see all the seniors at the picnic. It is really a nice event. Dutchess County, like I said, they do a fantastic job. They host it all over the county, and we did have a great time. Talked to a lot of residents, a lot of seniors, had a lot of questions for me, which I'm very happy to engage with them, and the weather was great as well. So thank you to everybody who held that. And I think I saw our clerk there as well, right? He loves a free lunch. He was there. He never misses a free lunch. But also our East Fishkill PBA, they held their annual golf outing this past month. I attended that. I attended with our two county legislators, Steve Caswell, John Metzger, and also our acting chief, Chief Kachia. We all golfed in the event this year, which was very nice. Fully attended golf outing. So many people, so many police officers from so many different police organizations came. They all help and support each other, right? And that's what it's all about, supporting our own and supporting different PBAs across the county and the state, and that's what they do. So thank you to the PBA for a nice event. And speaking about the police department today, Councilman Marinaro and I'm sure he'll give an update when he gives his about this, and Acting Chief Kachia and Detective Phillips, we attended the Dutchess County Police Academy run by Dutchess County Sheriff's Office. We had our officer that we hired 6 months or 7 months ago, Michael Carmesino, well now Officer Carmesino, graduated. A very nice ceremony up at the Poughkeepsie Grand Hotel in Poughkeepsie, and Sheriff Imperati does a great job, and his whole staff as well. And actually, it was very nice to see our new officer receive the top award for the academy, the top cop they call it, and he was awarded that today. So congratulations to Officer Carmesino, and good luck and God bless you on your start here in East Fishkill. I've been having several meetings with ON Semiconductor and Supervisor Thurston from the town of Wappingers about what's happening with the National CHIPS Act that will become available soon. Supervisor Thurston, he has a lot of ties to the semiconductor industry in his past career. That's what he did for a living, and he is bringing the smaller R&D chip manufacturing company here that would like to set up shop here at iPark. They'll be producing items that will be complementary to ON Semiconductor. They won't be a competitor of theirs, so that's very good. It's still in the very early stages, but we're getting prepared because it's a lot of work to prepare for. We've been looking for some state grants. Also, we know that these companies like ON Semiconductor and this new R&D chip company will be applying for the national CHIPS dollars. So we're trying to assist ON Semiconductor any way they can, because they're looking to build 1 or 2 new chip manufacturing facilities right here in East Fishkill, right adjacent to their chip manufacturing buildings now. So they'll be applying soon for the CHIPS Act, like I said. And also we need to start preparing a plan for separating the water that is on that campus. Right now, currently, there's one water line that goes on from Dutchess County Central Water Line, and we need to separate that from iPark, because iPark has many new buildings coming in, and it's just very hard and problematic to manage for ON Semiconductor and for us as the new businesses come into play. So we did apply for a $6 million grant with New York State Consolidated Funding application. Actually, Senator Schumer, he wrote a very encouraging letter on our behalf to the President and CEO of Empire State Development. He endorsed the project, calling it a game changer for our community, and it will have significant positive impacts on our local economy by boosting economic growth and job creation, which it will. So a big thank you to Senator Schumer for that, and we really feel with his endorsement and his weight behind us that we will get this money. And basically the $6 million will help us build this new line, which will be a loop that will go around and then put all the new buildings from iPark onto this new water loop, and then have ON Semiconductor on their own, which would very much help facilitate. You're not home, are you, clerk? Nobody's home. Good for you. This will help facilitate economic growth in that. And it's important that we continue our economic growth down at iPark, because basically that's where the economic growth belongs, right? We have the infrastructure there, everything's there. We don't want to take different areas of town and have any type of manufacturing anywhere else but there. So I'll keep everybody informed as we move along with that. I've been having some meetings about planning for our upcoming comprehensive master plan project. I've said this many times before. It's a very big deal. It's a very big job to undertaking. It will take a lot of time. It will take a lot of town tax resources. Each municipality is taxed with doing this every 10 to 15 years, a new master plan. Town of East Fishkill hasn't done one in over 20 years, and now I can see why why. It's a lot to do. Last month, our town board had a resolution to hire a master plan project coordinator, and this was a great thing to do because she's been very, very busy already. She's setting up meetings with our department heads for interviews, our town board members very soon. She will be meeting with community groups like the Chamber of Commerce, the Rotary, historic groups, our farmers, and many more different organizations. And I'd like to finalize our comprehensive planning committee at next month's voting meeting. I've asked each board member to give me 1 or 2 members from the community who would like to sit on this, so please put those names forward. This will be an 18 to 20 month project. So Councilwoman Flores is the liaison to the comprehensive planning committee, and she's already been doing a great job. Thank you. She'll, I'm sure, give a little update on here when she does her comments, but it's a lot of work. So I thank all our professionals and all our staff that will be helping guiding the town in this project. So thank you. Community Day is coming up. It is on Saturday, September 23rd. This year is going to be another successful year, I believe. Christine Selbach, Bill Green, and company have been working very hard in the rec department. I'm sure Councilman Frankel will give an update when he does his report. But Community Day is a huge deal right here in East Fishkill. We love it. I encourage people to come out, enjoy the day. Many of our local businesses are not-for-profits. They come out, showcase what they're all about, and perhaps some of those keyboard cowboys at home who like to complain about everything, maybe you can come out in the dark and visit some of our local businesses and spend some money in our town, because we have a lot to offer here. So please, everybody, come out and enjoy Community Day. Like I said, it's Saturday, September 23rd. And the last thing I like to mention is the passing of a real community leader, community member and friend. Tom Sorencion's his name. He lived in East Fishkill for over 53 years. He was a dedicated member to the East Fishkill Fire District for almost 50 years. He served in many different capacities. He was Assistant Chief of Station 2, First Assistant Chief of the district. He was a District Safety Officer, Parade Chairman, President of Station 2, and also he was a Fire Commissioner. He was an active member of the Dutchess County 4-H Club. He served as a Dutchess County Elections Inspector. He served on the East Fishkill Fire Advisory Board, and he worked briefly with the East Fishkill Highway Department. And anybody who knew Tom Sorencion would always have a smile, because he always had a joke to share and put a smile on everybody's face. And our condolences go out to his wife and children and grandchildren, and he will be sorely missed. So rest in peace, my friend. And with that, Mr. Clerk, would you call the roll?
Councilman Franco.
Present.
Councilperson Marinero.
Present.
Councilperson Arco.
Present.
Councilperson Flores.
Present.
Supervisor D'Alessandro.
Present. Thank you, Clerk. So we have no presentation tonight. We do have a public hearing. This is regulating Airbnb. Do I have a motion to open the public hearing in regards to Airbnb for a short-term rental law?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing now open. So we've been discussing this for a long while as well. This came about several different times. We had some problems with some short-term rentals in town, had a lot of complaints, have a lot of complaints to our building department, and as a result, it is triggering the town to come up with an Airbnb law. The town board does not like to pass laws unless we have to, and this is one of them. But I think that if we all be very smart about it, everybody can be happy, and we can then make sure that we're not going to curtail any federal or state laws. Would the town attorney like to give us an overview of the short-term rental law regulations?
Sure, Mr. Supervisor, members of the board. The local law this evening is a draft. It would be the intention to adjourn this public hearing to September. We're still awaiting further comment from Dutchess County Planning Department, so procedurally we're listening for input from not only the county planning but from the residents of the town who might have an interest in this. But basically, what we've tried to do is to address some of the complaints and situations that we've had to address over the last few years, and I'll just run through. So this would require anyone who wanted to use their property as an Airbnb to register it with the town, so that the town would be aware of it, so that if there are issues, neighbors called, et cetera, we're aware of the operation, because many times neighbors have concerns when they see different groups using a particular residence at a different time. It also would require an annual fire inspection for the safety of those using it. It would also require it only to be in single-family homes. It also the preliminary draft would exclude this in the smaller lots of the town, the half-acre, one-third acre, or quarter-acre zoning districts, which would allow it in the 1-acre and 3-acre districts, the larger size lots. It would also provide that the septic system servicing the property be certified to be operable and in compliance. It also would not allow properties that share a driveway to be utilized as an Airbnb. This has been probably one of the most concerning areas raised and dealt with by the town building department over the last few years, and oftentimes when it's been dug into, the actual agreement for shared driveways usually doesn't allow this kind of use on it. So that would eliminate those concerns. The other issue that we addressed, a lot of times people rent a property and they'll leave and they'll put out all the garbage on a Monday, and the garbage pickup is Wednesday, and either the debris is there for those 3 days. So this would require that to be regulated and controlled. It would limit occupancy to no more than 2 people per bedroom, which would be a reasonable number. And it would also require that the owner of the property either be available or have an agent available, so that if there is an issue that arises, excessive number of people, police call, et cetera, someone could be contacted and respond. We're proposing within 60 minutes to the site to address the problem and situation that might arise. And that, in a nutshell, are the provisions of the law, and it does provide for penalties if they're not followed. So.
Okay, before we open it to town board comments, why don't we open it up to the public? Anybody wish to speak for or against the implementation of a short-term rental law? Please come up to the podium.
My name's Donna Ogden, and I just have a question for the town attorney. I did not hear what you said regarding the sized lots. Could you repeat that?
Okay, the zoning is broken down by lot size, so certain areas, homes on a quarter acre are allowed, a half acre, or a third of an acre. Then the rest of the town primarily is 1, 2, and 3 acres. So this law, as proposed, would limit any Airbnb rentals to the larger lots, 1 acre or more.
So you'd have to have 1 acre or more to be an Airbnb?
Right.
Okay, thank you.
I've lived in this town for 40 years, and I've never seen such negligence about caring for the community. We're a small community. We know each other. We're our own neighborhood watch. We know everybody's name. This construction came in the spring and was already starting to be rented out by November. During the time that the person was constructing, 2 policemen were there. We're not sure why. 2 times we have seen cars speeding. We have a little road. It was a campground. It's not meant for 2-way traffic. It's significantly labeled one way, speeding down the road the wrong way. We have little kids who ride their bicycles in the road. We have people walking with their baby carriages in the road. We know people's names. We know the names of their dogs. We watch out for each other. Having people come in and out of our our home. We love our home. We love our little town. It's a personal, lovely thing that you don't see every day, and this ruins it. This really ruins it, to have people come for short-term rentals. And it's obviously, he built this place for that purpose. Things have been done where he's encroached on other people's lands by cutting down parts of their brush and leaving the brush on their land. The people who ever have started this do not have the best interest of the neighborhood, of the town, of the people that live in our environment. And this is a shameful thing. It is a shameful thing. This is what we need in our country, to have people have unity. And to break it for profit, we know everybody. We watch when someone's not home. We say, are you sick? And you want to destroy that? Shame on you all. Shame.
Well, I might just add that this, right now, the activity is being conducted throughout the town, and it is not a regulated activity. This would actually put some controls on it to address the concerns that...
So, yeah, exactly. The reason why we came up with this law is because we're trying to prohibit as much of Airbnb as we can. We cannot just put a law that would say we're not allowed any, because we could get challenged. What was the challenge from New York State recently, or was it a federal
Well, it's
challenge?
exclusionary.
Exclusionary.
Excluding various
So
housing
we
laws.
cannot just say they're not allowed, which I think most of us would agree with, but we're trying to put some regulations where we can control it. Now it's all being done illegally. All these people renting their homes are doing it illegally. We don't know who's in those houses. We don't know if those houses are safe to occupy, if there's egress, proper fire egress. So this will put controls on that. That's what this is doing. This isn't a free-for-all. This is what we're trying to avoid.
Is this regulation geared specifically to Airbnb advertising?
No, I think Airbnb is just a general,
Okay. On the May 25th meeting, I stood here and inquired the assessments of multifamily dwellings in what is in fact an R1/3 community, which is what the previous speaker was referring to as an R1/3.
won't be allowed in
Yeah, and
1/3.
so I'm wondering if there was any review of that going on, or is there any comment regarding multifamily dwelling in an R1/3 community?
if there's an illegal dwelling,
We-
multifamily, what's your question?
My question is was there any follow-up on it with the tax assessor's office?
In regards to what? The assessment?
The assessments and R1/3, or rather multifamily dwelling, and you asked me at the time if they were legal, and it's an ambiguous question for me to answer because I've never been inside the dwellings. They are on the tax rolls as multifamily dwellings.
It's on the tax rolls, most likely they are legal.
Well, again, I don't know if they conform to the to code, to building code. So I don't know, that's why I say it's an ambiguous question to me.
Well, if they have a designation as a multifamily on a building card in the town, at one point, they had to get inspections to become so. So do we do a yearly fire inspection? Yeah, we do.
That's what you're talking about here.
We do have now a part-time fire inspector, which we're trying to get a full-time fire inspector, which will do yearly visits to all those residents.
Okay, so I guess my question would be, can this be broadened? And,
Sure.
okay,
Wait, I think we have to, if I may, I think we're talking various...
Two different things.
Yeah.
Long-term, short-term, right?
New York State says that if you have a multiple family dwelling, which is more than 4 units, it's required to have an annual fire inspection. Then others, what we would deem normally be single-family homes that may have double occupancy. They could be a product of either they could apply for and get an accessory apartment permit, which is another part of the zoning ordinance. They could have existed before zoning. That means they're allowed to continue. You can't diminish it. We have no right to enter single-family homes. It's not within
No, I
any-
appreciate that, yeah.
And as far as the assessment records, the assessors' records, whatever they pick up over the years, that's reflective there. But we're at full value assessments, so that the assessments are based on sales. So if they have sales in a local area, community, that's what's going to be more influential into what the assessed values are, unless a property is a commercial enterprise. Now, with Airbnb, that's something obviously be registered, and an analysis would have to be done if the property isn't being used as a single-family home or a rental and whatever the income might be.
So then, expanding on that a little bit regarding R1/3, and is it 4 or more multi, or is it more than 4?
Or 1/3 acre, meaning, yeah.
Let me retract the R1/3 for now.
Yeah.
You made comment stating that more than 4
4 or more.
Or dwellings.
4 or more?
4 dwellings in a
Separate
building.
buildings?
In a building.
Oh, okay.
4 dwellings.
4 units.
Under state law becomes a multiple dwelling.
Okay.
And that has a whole nother set of code rules, fire inspection rules, et cetera.
Okay, so now getting back to the R1/3 and 1/2, and I think there was quarter in here also. So there's criteria for specific reasons in here. Now, in an R1/3 community, isn't there an impact on that's not municipal sewer, it's that we have septic systems? So,
That's why it's not allowed in R1/3.
okay, so why would any multifamily dwelling,
If
In
they're
most cases,
existing,
right, they're either pre-existing, they're illegal, but the only way an illegal use can be determined in a single-family home is if a neighbor signs an affidavit indicating what knowledge and proof there is that the property is being used as a multiple dwelling without approvals. When we have that, our zoning administrator goes in and takes enforcement action.
so if you want, I could give you the form to fill out.
or I can give you a list of the multifamily dwellings and have the
You have
tax
to-
assessor
you have
see if
to
it's
sign that-
appropriate.
You have to sign that complaint.
But we can't-
I don't know about it, you do,
Okay, I'll give you that list.
Oh,
okay?
Okay, thank you.
I'm not a lawyer, but I lived in Hillside Lake for a long time. And there seems to be a lot of local jurisdictions and local ordinances, beginning from making our road a one-way road, our septic systems. You can't tell me that we can't have a local ordinance against this house in our local neighborhood on a local level. The state shouldn't have to determine whether or not we have strangers in our yards, that we have to lock the doors and launch our kids off the street. There are local laws and there are local things that you can do to prevent this from happening in our neighborhood.
Anybody else wish to speak for or against the short-term rental regulation law?
Hello, I'm Dominic Shepis. I'm also a long-term Hillside Lake resident, and just wanted to mention that there's a lot of, we live very close to a playground. It's actually just down the block from us, and I'd like to mention there's not only a lot of small children, there's also children who take their bikes to the park, and there's young teenage girls there, and I think having a Airbnb very close to a playground like that leads for potential dangers, and I'd like to see if there could be some provision to say that you wouldn't be able to have Airbnb within, say, whatever, a quarter mile or some distance from a public playground, so we have that additional safety factor in there. So I'd like that to be considered. Thank you.
Let me ask you, are there a lot of properties in Hillside Lake that are an acre or more?
Not too many. There's a couple, but there's not too many.
So those would be the only ones that would be able to have a short-term rental?
I understand.
Yeah.
Just wanted to bring that up.
This is gets passed, right?
That's if it passes.
If it passes.
Right.
As of now, anybody can do it.
No, not anybody can do it. They're doing it illegally. Yeah, but I only have one zoning administrator. So when I get a complaint, this is why we're doing this, because I don't have enough personnel to send out for, if there's 100 calls on illegal Airbnbs.
So even though I didn't say it, I do not want an Airbnb in the neighborhood. I've also been a longtime resident there. Over the winter, we've seen multiple vehicles digging into this person's property in the snow and just tearing up their whole yard. So I can't even believe they're still okay having Airbnbs. There were multiple vans and trucks, and they were like edging out onto the road. It makes traffic impossible when they're going down the wrong way. It's a safety hazard because people don't pay attention to the roads. Also, those Amazon trucks need to start paying attention to the one-way roads because they just come down any road they want at any speed, and I'm tired of yelling at them. But, so I'm against the Airbnb in a small community where we feel very safe where we are, and we want to keep it in a safe community. So that's all I can say.
Understood. That's why we are trying to do something about that. Would the town attorney explain to the residents if we do pass this and there is an illegal Airbnb, then what is the procedure and what can happen to the property owner?
Okay, well, first of all, there are penalties provided, fines that would start out at $350 go up to $1,000 for each occurrence that there be a violation. Also, the town could seek an injunction from the court, which a court order directing a property owner to cease that activity. So if it's on any property as proposed that's in a half, third, or quarter acre zoning district, they would be prohibited in their totality. And right now, we have no control over the use of single-family homes that are rented out on an other than a long-term basis.
So if we pass this, then we will have more control.
Exactly.
Okay.
And
We start a letter-writing campaign to our town attorney. Will that help to get this pushed faster, to have it out of our dangerous spot of our life, so we can live September without worrying about this?
Well, I think our next step now, we're going to refer this to Dutchess County.
It has been.
We're waiting for their...
And we'll take any comments tonight, and if the board wants any modification to it. And then the public hearing is again in September, at which time the board could close the public hearing and enact the law.
Mr. Supervisor, you asked the question whether many property or homes more than half acre in there.
No, 1 acre or more.
Right. What I'd like to bring your attention to is there are many homes in there that are on a parcel with ownership of the adjacent parcels. So maybe provisions should be looked at as far as not grandfathering those in, as far as consolidating those parcels, and so as to facilitate making them Airbnb in the future.
2 homes on one property.
That's something we could consider as well.
That wouldn't be allowed anyway.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm just curious, the notice, there was a 60 minutes of a notice. Could you elaborate on that?
Oh, we would like to have 60-minute in there. If there's an issue, say they have a legal Airbnb, they get the permit, everything's okay, and there's a problem. The neighbor calls and says, guess what? They're too loud, there's many people having a big party, and there will be somebody that will be able to be called within 60 minutes to go back to that rental that we would call and say, you have to take care of this or we could shut down the rental.
Okay.
like a property manager or somebody who will oversee it if the property owner doesn't live in the town or somewhere else close by.
And these are all my neighbors, and I had the Airbnb, but as soon as I knew that it was not okay, it's been closed. So, I mean, I didn't know. I didn't know. I did the right thing and I closed it, and I'm waiting for this, but I understand the rules you're laying out here. So I just want to be clear with everybody about that. If those are laws, won't let me move it. I can't get involved in that.
Anybody else wish to speak?
This isn't the forum for that.
Anybody else wish to speak for or against the local short-term rental regulations for short-term rentals?
I want to say something. It's my community too. I'm paying tax dollars. All of the money, I mean, when I was renting, I thought it was legal. You guys got tax dollars for all that. I mean, that went in, you know, and I'm happy
No,
for that.
we didn't get tax dollars for your rentals.
Yes, you do.
The town does not. I
Well-
know for sure the town does not receive any tax dollars of your rental.
They collect.
And even if this law is passed, Dutchess County would get, I believe, the rental fee,
Okay,
not the town.
Okay, Dutchess County. It's not that it's not going also for everyone. And it is my community, and you are my neighbors, and I'd like to like you too. I mean, it's not, I get where you're coming from. I hear you loud and clear.
You're not there, it's strangers are there, so how can you know?
Is it going to be permanently not in
This isn't the forum, you should be right.
This is
I'm going to follow.
Okay, excuse me, if we could just, this forum is for or against the local law. Is there anybody else wish to speak for or against the short-term rental regulation law?
If a property meets all these regulations that you're setting out, the fire safety, the septic, the driveways, the acres, and the mileage, how far away they are, then our hands are tied. They could, anyone, if they reach.
Then they can get a permit to operate a short-term rental.
And they still would have to follow the guidelines that are presented.
Right.
And if they're lacking in any one of those,
Oh, yeah, then they get violated.
then they're
Yes.
violated. All right.
Town board members, any comments,
I think-
questions, concerns? Yes.
And I think one of the key things is that they would have to register their property if they wish to, if they meet these requirements and they wish to operate as an Airbnb. They have to register, and if not, then they're subject to
That's a
the
violation.
penalties.
Right.
I think the restrictions are very reasonable.
Well, we like we said, we like our town to, we understand what people like to do, but we want to make sure that it's done in a way that it's not going to affect the neighbors. Because we live here year-round, and we want to make sure that things are preserved correctly. Okay, so with that, we will adjourn this till the September voting meeting, which is...
September 28th.
Thank you, sir. Do I have a motion to adjourn this public hearing to September 28th?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned. Thank you. Thank you all that came out very much. Everybody received the July 27, 2023 minutes. Clerk, were there any changes, alterations?
No, there were not.
No? Do I have a motion to approve the July 27th town board meeting minutes?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's approved, thank you. Additions to the agenda, actually, I do, at the end of the meeting, I did receive a letter from the mayor of the Village of Buchanan asking us for a piece of equipment that I will ask the board to sell to the village for. I'll do that at the end. I don't have it in front of me here. Courtesy of the floor. Anybody wish to speak on any general town issues, on any of the resolutions tonight? Please come forward, state your name at the podium. Mr. Grasso, how are you? I'm doing well. You coming up? No.
Good evening. Good to
How are
see
you,
all
sir?
of you. I'm coming before you about the road conditions of Hillside Lake.
The road conditions?
Road conditions.
Yes, sir.
And so the net is what I would urge the town to do is to prioritize the criteria that they use to assess the road and come back with a plan in 30 days to say, this is what we can do and a kind of a project plan how to achieve the road, improve the road conditions. As far as the road conditions, we've got a lot of uneven pavement, potholes, and the drainage from the storms that we've had have been so significant. Some of the road is buckling around the edges in various spots around Hillside Lake. So there's key impacts there. Emergency response, trying to bring a fire truck down the main, I call it the main loop around the lake, is problematic. I mean, and when time is of essence, you know, the ambulance they would have to go under 25 miles an hour around the lake. Lastly, this ponding that is starting to occur more and more with some of these bigger storms that we've had. As you know, Hillside Lake has over 400 plus homes there, so a lot of cars, traffic, trucks are on these roads. So very important that, you know, that we bring up the conditions of the road. Highway Department has been outstanding trying to keep up, just the top notch. You know, they've been putting in some curbing in different places because of the way the water has been ponding and trying to get it to the storm drains that have been put in place. So really, we got a great group, and I would like to see them to really take this on, putting a plan together for Hillside Lake. Now, we've had an active, I think we have an active bond around the roads. I looked at the audited budget for 2019, and you see an entry for bonds. See, our good friend Mark is not here tonight.
He's not. But we did take out a $2 million highway bond, and we have utilized, I believe it's in a resolution where I believe we used $800,000 for equipment and $1.2 million for paving. I believe that's the breakdown of the 2 million. We have utilized all of our paving budget this year, and we are now dipping into that 1.2 million. Is that correct, Councilman?
Yes.
Yeah, so we could get a breakdown. We did a roads assessment several years ago and we used a Cornell Cooperative standard to measure the roads and give them a grade, and that did every single road in the town. And unfortunately, as you know, you're not the only community to suffer with poor road conditions, and we do try to adhere to that road list like a Bible, where we go the worst roads first. But I will bring up, and I'm sure Councilman Arco will also bring up to the highway superintendent about a possible road plan just for Hillside Lake, and then see how we can do.
Excellent. That's all you can add. And can we do that over the next 30 days and then
We'll
bring
do
that
our
back?
best. It is a very busy time of year with paving. It is getting close to the end. I'm sure the highway superintendent would like to do this come the late fall. Okay, but I will, I will encourage him to do in 30 days, but I can't guarantee it.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else in the audience wish to speak on general town issues? Oh, County Legislator Caswell, how are you, sir?
Good evening, I'm doing well. County Legislator Steve Caswell. I just want to give a quick update on a couple of things that we've been addressing up at the county within the past quarter. the big one is we passed a bond last month for $18 million so that we could finally implement a countywide communication system. This is something that's been in discussions really as far back as 9/11. And if you remember, like, there was just confusion where different departments, different agencies couldn't talk to each other. So there's been a lot of talk about it for many years, and we went out a year or so ago and got a design, estimates and stuff. So we are now at the point of actually implementing this system. So the Sheriff's Department will be able to easily communicate with local police, and police will be able to communicate with firefighters and first responders and all that. It'll be one system, one network that hopefully will make it much, much better for everybody to address and respond to, disasters or any other situations that come up. It includes putting up a few new cell towers because there's parts of the county where there just is poor communications. So it's a big investment, but the legislature passed it, and I think it's a good investment, a good way to bond money for the future benefit of the county and the entire county. So that was a big thing that I think it's important for everybody to know. I mean, I think we've got a great, team here in East Fishkill where the police talk to the first responders and everything, but it's not quite as good around the county. So this will do that, and also allow our town folks to communicate with other agencies as needed. So again, I think a great project that's underway that will help us not so far down the road. The other thing is the Dutchess Community College budget was accepted by the legislature last month. And just quick highlights, that'll be a 2% increase in the county's contribution to the college's budget for this year. And the tuition is going to go up $100 a semester. So a slight increase. As we all know, costs are going up, whether it's inflation or other things. So there's a small increase in the contribution from the county, a small increase in the contribution from the students, and the college is doing their best to review and assess their expenses to see how they can, try to keep those under control as well. So, and
Steve, just a quick question. I'm sorry. Just on Dutchess Community College, the classes with the high school students, is there going to be an increase for those as well to get for some of the courses?
Well, I guess technically there'll be a couple dollar increase because the way they have it set is the cost for the high school students is 1/3 of the tuition cost. So they're paying a discounted price. So I guess if they're going up $100, I don't recall off the top of my head, whatever the per credit price went up a couple of dollars. I think it went up like $5 or $10. So I guess that would mean it would go up $2 or $3. So yes, technically a couple dollars. And then also don't forget those kids that qualify for the free and reduced lunches, in that program, they're then paying half of the 1/3. So for the high school students, the charges are hopefully, reasonable for most people. But so that's how that's impacted.
Okay.
Yeah. And the only other thing I was going to say is, with about a week to go before the new semester starts, enrollment was up 18% at the community college, which is a big deal. Okay, there's been many, many years of declining enrollment. We all know how, the community college and the SUNY colleges have, been trending. So new president in place. They've really been trying to do things to build programs, and they've freshened up the website. It's just amazing the information that's available now versus before. So they've done a lot of things to get more information out there, and it looks like it's paying dividends. Now, obviously, this is only 1 year. I hope it's a trend, but we need more data to see it. But at least we're moving in the right direction after several years of declines. So, then the one final thing I wanted to mention was I've been in conversations with Congressman Mike Lawler's office, and they are now accepting U.S. Service Academy nomination applications. So I just want to make everyone aware of that. if you're interested in going to an academy, it's either the Military Academy, the Naval Academy, the Air Force Academy, or the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy. Any of those require a nomination from your assembly members. So Mike Lawler is now, the window is now open between now and September 25th. So if there's anyone interested, they can either contact his office at 845-201-2060 or through his website at lawler.house.gov, and that's Lawler, L-A-W-L-E-R. Again, I guess, 1 out of 2 households in Mike Lawler's district have a first responder or a service person or a veteran in their household. So he's very happy and proud to sponsor that. So if there's anyone that is considering it, service to our country, now is the time to reach out to his office and, see if your application can't be submitted. So that is it.
Thank you, legislator.
Excuse me, one quick question. On your, the countywide radio system, are you including your highway departments?
Not yet, but they will.
Okay.
I know because I read the study.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be something that would be really critical for them too.
Right, yeah, they're part of the responses as well on many things, especially these weather-related things. So, yeah, we'll get them in there.
Thank you.
Also, try to scrounge up some money for some roads because you hear the residents, we need more money for road paving.
I have heard that.
So, do what you can over here, legislator. Help
And
us
we
out.
have county commissioners that are looking for county roads
We
too.
worry about East Fishkill first.
Well, I am, East Fishkill first, but yes.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else wish to speak on any general town issues? Please come to the podium now. No? Okay. With that, we do have something for receipt and file. It's a letter from a property owner that we will submit to planning and zoning. Do I have a motion to refer the letter from JS1 Properties to the Planning and Zoning Department?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried, thank you. Resolutions. We do have a few that we have to table tonight, unfortunately. Civil service, there's 3 that civil service is giving us, we need more information from. Number 1, number 5, and number 7, so we will skip those. Resolution number 2, Councilwoman Flores.
Mr. Supervisor, I move that we adopt the annexed as the official zoning map of the town and authorize the town clerk to certify it.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion. So last month, we had our town planner here at our town board meeting to discuss about the official zoning map. And I think this is our first official zoning map.
As far as we've been able to determine from the
As far as
records.
we've been able to look far back, we've never had a real official map. And thank you to Dutchess County Planning. They actually did a tremendous amount of work on this for free, which I'm very thankful for. I mean, it is our tax dollars too. So, and thank you to our planner. Any comments or questions from the board?
Just to remind everyone, it doesn't change any zoning in the town. It just has it now on a map that's searchable so that you can actually zero in on your street and find exactly whether your house is on a 1/3 acre, 1/4 acre, or whatever that district might be.
Finally, so they can look up when they do the Airbnb law. Do I have a motion and a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. Okay. Number 3, Councilman Franco.
Mr. Supervisor, I move that we accept a strip of land for recreation and utility purposes as proposed by the Planning Board for the Tucker Trail subdivision.
Thank you, Councilman. Do I have a second?
Second.
Would the town attorney give us a little overview on what this really is?
Sure, this is, I think it's a 5-lot subdivision that was before the planning board, and where it's located, there may be the possibility of some future access to the rail trail, so that the planning board asked and the property owner agreed to dedicate a small strip along one of the lots that would allow this walkability. And additionally, at the town engineer's request, he requested that it allow for and provide that utility lines could be run in the same spot because of the possibility of connecting some of the development out there to a central sewer facility.
Excellent. Well, we have our assistant town engineer here tonight. How are you, Mr. Cronk?
I'm doing very well, Supervisor.
You smile much more than the other town engineer. I'll keep you around a little bit more, maybe. Any comments from the town board on the recreation land? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. Resolution 4, Councilman Marinaro.
Mr. Supervisor, I move that we acknowledge the commencement of the Mental Health America program as previously approved to assist with mental health calls received by the police department.
Thank you, Councilman. Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion. So we entered into agreement, town board resolution, I believe, several months ago, to enter into agreement with Mental Health America. And actually tonight, we did have an interview with the new mental health specialist that will be aiding our police department. And this is a new program that Mental Health America started a few years ago. They're in the city of Poughkeepsie, city of Beacon, town of Poughkeepsie, I believe, and town of Hyde Park, they said? Hyde Park. Yes. And it's where the police department handles these calls with emotionally distressed people, mentally distressed people, and this is a professional, mental health professional who will assist and help sometimes calm the situation, and also assist them when we have to make trips up to the hospital or to the mental health center up in Poughkeepsie. So there's a lot of benefits to this program, and the town board, we did budget for this last year, so finally we did find that Mental Health America did find a new person to fulfill our needs here in East Fishkill. So I think it's going to be a good program. Any comments from the board? No? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Resolution 5 is tabled. Resolution 6, Councilman Arco.
Mr. Supervisor, I move that we approve a one-year extensions to the CSEA collective bargaining agreement, providing for a 3% salary increase and switching health insurance plan.
Thank you, Councilman. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? We've discussed this with our town controller. We're looking to change our night shift plan and then also extend the contract another year with CSEA. Any comments or questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. 7 is tabled. 8, Councilwoman Flores.
Mr. Supervisor, I move that we authorize a 5-year agreement with the town of Poughkeepsie for 200,000 gallons of water storage and an 8,500-gallon water purchase agreement with the Dutchess County Water Authority for the West Campus Water District.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second.
A discussion? So this goes into our economic development plans, and basically, we need storage for all our waters that we use by Board of Health approval. But when we need Board of Health approval, we have to show that we have storage for the water that we will be using. So temporary storage agreement for 5 years with the town of Poughkeepsie. They have a large storage tank, which is right off the line that comes down the main Dutchess transmission line to ON Semiconductor, or the former IBM campus. So this is an agreement with the town of Poughkeepsie for that. Any comments or questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. Number 9, Councilman Franco.
Mr. Supervisor, I move that we accept the donation of a golf cart and skate park equipment for recreation purposes.
Excellent. Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? Thank you for the donation. No problem. Councilman Arco is donating a golf cart for our rec office, which they're very happy for. You know, I mean, we have...
You take it for a spin, too?
Me? No, I walk everywhere. I walk everywhere. I'm slimming down. I won't take no golf cart. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you. Councilman Arco, number 10.
Mr. Supervisor, I move that we appoint Anthony Rappa and Tyler Perrone.
To the Highway Department for seasonals.
They left that part out.
That part got cut off.
That wasn't on it.
Okay. Do I have a second? Second. Discussion. This is for the Highway Department. Councilman Arco, they need more seasonals?
For a little bit longer, yeah.
Okay. Oh, people are going back to school.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried, thank you. Okay. It says 4 resolutions. I did have an addition. So the board, I have a letter here from the Office of the Mayor of the Village of Buchanan, Mayor Knickerbocker. She says she understands that we have a piece of equipment that is outdated. It's an electronics HD server, and the town and the Village of Buchanan would like to purchase it from us. This is a piece of equipment that we no longer use. It is outdated. We did purchase a new one several years ago. It is for use for our video capabilities that we have for our videographer. And if it's okay with the board, do I have a motion to name that piece of equipment electronics HD server surplus and sell it to the village for $1? Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Thank you very much. The mayor will be very happy. She says that they have no money because they are in the Village of Buchanan where the Indian Point is, and they're closing down, and they will not have any more funding. So we'll be nice neighbors, right? Everybody has received the budget transfer. Everybody discussed that with the comptroller. He is away on vacation, but I made sure that he would answer any questions about the budget transfer. It's pretty straightforward. Do I have a motion to accept the budget transfer?
So moved.
Do I have a second? Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Budget transfer approved. Thank you very much. Board member comments. Councilman Arco.
Yes, how you doing today?
How are you? You stayed awake the whole time.
I know. It's an exciting meeting tonight.
Yes.
So I'll give the highway update. The drainage work and paving on Blueberry, Kim, and Ivy Lanes are now complete. The drainage work on Probst Terrace is complete. The road cuts are paved in, and the road is prepped for paving. We're hoping to be doing paving within the next month. We are finishing up the drainage work on Jess Court and Patricia Court, and we'll be preparing those roads for paving as well. We're working on a collaborative project with the town of Kent. In September, we will be paving the section of Long Hill Road that borders the town of Kent. This is the last dirt road in the town of East Fishkill. Oh, wow, we still have a dirt road? Man, that's crazy.
We still have dirt roads.
Well, I remember them.
No curbs, no cracking, nothing. It's dirt.
Yeah, just dirt, wow. We will begin...
Can't believe it, actually.
We will begin the crack sealing process in a few of our town roads that have been paved within the last 10 years. This is a preventive measure we take to prolong the life of the road. Our bucket truck was out of service and inspection. It is now back in business. We will be out taking care of preventive maintenance, tree trimming, and beginning to prepare for winter. Let's see. That's it on highway. Fire department. I met with the fire chief this past week and a commissioner, as well as one of our building inspectors at the iPark complex. We are basically just doing walkthroughs to get a lay of the land so that the firefighters are familiar with the interiors of this large facility. I'm hoping this is something that is done on a quarterly basis, semi-annual basis, to keep them up to date. There's a lot of new equipment going in. There's some old equipment still there. So they're getting some well-needed knowledge and training of the site. I'm also working with the fire commissioners. They want to meet with the county legislators to talk about some EMS questions with the county. So I'm setting that up hopefully in the next couple of weeks as well.
Excellent. Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Marinaro, how are you?
Good, good. So, a few announcements as far as the police department is concerned. On 8/5, August 5th, there was a fire structures, and it appears that it was from a cigarette left lit behind the porch. Something to really think about in the future, you know. Let's be careful. I mean, we've had a lot of rain, but these issues could become a problem with some local residents. On the 9th at 4 p.m., there was a personal injury accident involving a young teenager. She was crossing Route 376 near the wreck. Also, to all the residents, please be careful when driving through the hamlets and in the village. There are at times people crossing even though there is no pedestrian crossing. On the 22nd, around 8:30 p.m., the McDonald's on Route 376, there was an incident where several young people, juveniles, involved in an incident with a McDonald's, harassing customers and workers. And this was happening while somebody was filming the incidents. Law enforcement, our local law enforcement, immediately responded and rectified the situation. At this time, we cannot provide any further information. There is an active investigation going on. So like the town supervisor mentioned before, this morning we attended the graduation of one of our local officers, and really proud of this young man. I mean, he was named top cop. The town supervisor gave all the details before. You know, I've attended a couple of these ceremonies in the past, and it's really unbelievable to see the faces of these young officers during these ceremonies and the hard training that they go through. And one thing I came away with this morning is that being in law enforcement is not all that negative impact on the community. These people are here to help and to support our communities, make sure that everybody is living in a well-balanced environment. So I want to wish the officer, his name is Michael Carmesino, lots of luck in the future with his new job, and thank you to the whole law enforcement academy graduation this morning. And we did meet with MHA behavioral specialist today. That's another great program that East Fishkill started with Dutchess County, and it's a new program, so we will be monitoring and see how it works. Unfortunately, everybody's aware there is a lot of mental issues out there, drug abuse, and So we need to have these people in place to aid our police department and law enforcement to do a better job for the community. So lots of luck to the individual that we have hired tonight, Brian and Rahan, and great work with our local police department.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Franco, how's it going?
Fantastic. How about you?
Oh, great.
All right. I want to thank everybody who came out to our Think Differently Day at the Beach Day we had a few weeks ago. That was a tremendous success.
Yeah, I forgot that.
You did forget that. Special thanks to Christine Selbach. She did a great job. She was bouncing around all week about this, and it was a tremendous event. We had a great day, and a very special thanks to all the families with those special needs children who came out. It's always wonderful to see every year. Reminder, our East Fishkill Community Day is Saturday, September 23rd. All vendor information is on the East Fishkill Rec webpage, or you can call the Rec office for more info at 226-8395. Now tomorrow, sure, we all have invites. Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, we're supposed to be there at 7:30. The first game under the lights at the new Field 5.
When will we know if it's rained out?
We will let you know.
Okay.
So you better hope, because there's a brief ceremony at 7:30. We're all supposed to run the bases.
Oh, no.
No problem.
We're sneakers.
Plenty of them. Program registration reminders, youth winter basketball registration is still open. Adult winter basketball and volleyball start in October. Our summer camp is over. It was a tremendous success, thanks to all those involved, especially our young counselors. Concert series is coming to an end. We have Steel Owl this Friday night at 6, and then our last concert is September 1st with Johnny Dell and Nightlife. And 2 trips to note, October 1st, casino trip to Resorts and World Catskills, that's $40 a person. And November 18th, Radio City's Christmas Spectacular, $150.
Okay. Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Flores, how are you tonight?
Doing fine, thank you. As our supervisor mentioned, I've been working on our master plan project, working closely with our master plan coordinator, Rosemary Boyle-Lasher, as well as our town planner, Michelle Robbins. We will be having a number of interviews scheduled and reviewing base studies, as well as other communities' plans and approach to help us get started. The next steps in this process include the formation of the Comprehensive Plan Committee and the hiring of a professional planning consultant who will really assist us through the process and the creation of our master plan. We're hopeful to appoint the members of the committee as well as the planning consultant at our September meeting, so we look forward to that. We're looking for the committee to really be diverse and representing all areas of our community. As we move forward with this project, we'll also be involving the community by conducting several public workshops to gather community input regarding existing conditions as well as the public's vision for the future. And we'll also be creating online questionnaires to gather input from the community. And as we move forward with this project, I will be providing many more updates as we go through this. Finally, as the summer winds down, I really want to give a big shout out and thank you to the Recreation Department and Councilman Franco for all the fabulous activities that were organized this summer for our town residents, and I think really contributed to the quality of life of our residents, as well as continuing to make East Fishkill a great place to live. So thank you.
Thank you.
With the greatest recreation too, right?
That's right.
Should we let the clerk say anything? You look confused down there, clerk. Nope. Have anything to say?
Nope.
No? You sure?
I'm sure he's got something to say.
I know, I'm surprised.
He's just not saying it.
All right.
Thought bubbles.
Our next town board meeting is September 28th, 2023. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Soho in the rain. He was looking for the place called Lee Ho Fooks. Gonna get a big dish of beef chow mein. Werewolves of London. Werewolves of London. You hear him howling around your kitchen door. You better not let him in. Little old lady got mutilated late last night. Werewolves of London again. Werewolves of London. Werewolves of London. He's the hairy-handed gent who ran amok in Kent. Lately he's been overheard in Mayfair. You better stay away from him. He'll rip your lungs out, Jim. I'd like to meet his tailor. Werewolves of London. Werewolves of London. Well, I saw Lon Chaney walking with the Queen, doing the Werewolves of London. I saw Lon Chaney Jr. walking with the Queen, doing the Werewolves of London. I saw a werewolf drinking a pina colada at Trader Vic's.